Hi, welcome to my channel, KTBIOM. Today I wanted to do a quick review of this archery target that I got myself for Christmas, and I got this from AliExpress. It came overland from China via Kazakhstan, the Lithuania, I think, the European border, through Poland, Belgium, France, and eventually to England. So it took about 6 to 7 weeks to get to me, but I only paid £34 with free shipping, so I wasn't too fussed about it. I've seen it in Amazon for about £79, so you know, pretty much half price and a 6-7 week wait. So I haven't shot it yet, so we're going to take some first shots and see what it's like. It's I can put the dimensions on later on screen, but it's quite chunky. Weighs about, I think, 3.5 kilos, and it's about 15 inches side on side. So let's take some shots. The other thing I'm experimenting today is I got some new points to try out with a YMG. So I picked up a 300 grain point, a 200 grain point, and some more 150 grain points. So I think in terms of GPP, the 150 grain point was about 4.9. I think the 200 grain points brings it up to about 5.1 or 5.2, and the 300 grain points brings it up to about 6.3 GPP. I'll put down the details of the FOC as well, just to see whether it makes a difference. I've shot the 300s today with the Cheon Ji, and I have some experimental shots with the YMG, so I was just going to try them with the cube and see how they do. So I've marked the red arrows. I've got, the red tag on the arrow is the 300 grain, the white tag is 200 grain, and the blue tag is 150 grain. So we'll see how they do. So shooting the 300 grain point out in the cube with the YMG. That's going in quite hard. Second 300 grain point. .200 grain points. Another 200 grain points. And now the 150 grain points. Let's have a look. The ground's a bit slippy, so that's quite interesting. So obviously the target's moving around with each shot. So my concern there is whether I'm going to shoot an arrow into another arrow. But that's yeah, that seems to work quite nicely. It stops the arrows. Let's see how easy they are to pull out. Oh, that's easy. So that was 200 grains, 150 grain, another 200, 300 this one. That's fine. Oh, well, that one's gone through. So let me show you that one. So this one has gone straight through because it's got on the edge as the cube was rotating. So just careful not to stamp myself. Oh, hang on. Oh, that's tricky. The cube wants to rotate, but I don't want to bend the arrow while I'm doing so. Let's try again. Different hand. There we go. Oh, okay, so let's try and avoid hitting the edges. But that worked quite well. Let's try shooting with a Cheon Ji. Okay, shooting with a Cheon Ji, 300 grain points. Dead center, another 300 grains. Center again. Let's try 200 grain. And second with 200 grain. And now 150 grain. And the second 150 grain. Let's have a look at them. So this time there was less movement from the target. All the arrows have kind of landed in the same facet, more or less, apart from one. So let's see how easy they are to pull out. Let's just do it this way. That was easy. That was easy. That was easy. And that one. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I think it's to do with the construction of the boss of this target. You can see the layers. Can you see the layers here on this side? So the layers are structured flat. So I've been shooting on this side, and this side is going through straight. But as soon as I've hit this edge, they're going between the layers of the foam. So that seems to be harder to pull out as it's going through there. Not so much when it goes in flat, but when it's sandwiched between the layers, there's it seems a lot tighter to pull. So let's try again. I'm going to do that. Okay. Oh, yeah, definitely. Oh. Okay, so that explains it. So originally my idea was, just move the camera. So originally my idea was that I was just going to be able to just pick this up, throw it into a field and use it as a target. But based on that, I think, oh yeah, they're all the same, aren't they? based on that, I think you have to be just careful to hit the side square on where it's easier to pull out, because if you hit the sandwich areas, the layers, it's going to be harder to pull out. So it's handy to know that, to make sure you don't break any arrows or injure yourself trying to pull something that's not too bad. So far so good. I also had given a bullseye type target made out of rope for Christmas, but I found that the arrows went straight through that without any trouble. So it's unsuitable for shooting at home. Whereas this, with a good enough backstop, I think you could put this somewhere and do Gaozen practice or Torba training at home with this, and it should be fairly safe for the arrows, especially if you just hit them straight into the face. They'll be easy to pull out and everything should stay in place, but if it goes into the layered sections, the arrows are harder to pull out. So okay, thank you for watching. Let me know if you've got any questions. Thank you. Bye bye.